For those who are not aware, I'm Councillor Millard and I am the Chair of the Licensing and Enforcement Committee. Before we begin proceedings, I wish to remind everyone that this meeting is being live streamed on the Council's YouTube channel. The recording of the meeting will remain online for 4 years, and if you are present in the chamber, you are consenting to appearing in the recording and broadcasting, which may also be used for training purposes. I intend to run down the agenda in order tonight, beginning with apologies. Democratic Services, do we have any apologies, please?
We've received apologies from Councillor Evans, hence why Councillor Campbell is substituting, and Councillor O'Donnell.
Okay, thank you. Can I remind members to either switch their mobile phones off or put them on silent, please? And then do we have any members that wish to make a declaration of interest? No. Okay, so item 3 is the minutes of the previous meeting. Are members content to sign the minutes of the previous meeting as a true and accurate record? Yeah. Okay. There you go, Ollie. Thank you. So that moves us on to item 4, public questions. I've not been made aware of any public questions. Can you confirm Democratic Services this is the case?
There are no public questions.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 5, petitions and deputations. I'm not aware of any petitions. Can you confirm this?
Yeah, no petition.
Okay, thank you. So we're moving on to item 6, which is the proposed revised draft conditions for Hackney carriage and private hire licensing. May I ask the licensing team leader to introduce the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of the report is to consider the consultation feedback and agree a final version of the Hackney carriage and private hire policy for adoption by the Licensing Enforcement Committee. All the proposed amendments and revisions to the rulebooks are shaded in red, and these can be seen in Appendix 1, 2 and 3 of the report. The proposed changes against the current conditions can be seen in paragraph 3.7 of the report. At the Licensing Enforcement Committee held on the 11th of March, members approved the proposed amendments and revisions for an 8-week consultation. The draft policy and conditions were consulted on from the 24th of March until the 19th of May. We received 16 responses within the consultation period, and copies of these can be seen in Appendix 4. Therefore, the Licensing Enforcement Committee is asked to resolve the recommendations in paragraph 2. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that. Does any members have any questions? Yep.
I just wondered, did you hear anything from Tewkesbury? I know you heard from Cheltenham, but did Tewkesbury send any response?
No, they didn't.
Any other questions? Yep.
Thank you, Chair. I know we've discussed this a little bit, but it might be useful to just have a bit of this discussion on the record so that those that have kindly sent their words in for us to review can see that we actually, gone and read them through. I can see from the responses that some of those that have responded have spoken about an MOT every 6 months. Could you give a little bit more clarification about what that inspection or test would be?
Yeah, none of the proposed changes were to incorporate an MOT test every 6 months. The current conditions are when the vehicle hits 8 years old, they have to have a council vehicle inspection, and that's every 6 months, not an MOT.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Does that inspection occur a charge? Because I felt with the responses that could be what they were alluding to.
There is a charge to them. It goes to the garage, one of the approved garages that we've got on our website. But this has been a condition for as long as I've been here, and I've been here 11 years now. And it was something brought in by the trade at the time that after 8 years, they felt that for public safety reasons, they have an additional vehicle inspection every 6 months.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay. Are councillors happy to accept the officer's recommendation? And that is that the revised policy and conditions for Hackney carriage and private hire licensing and consultation feedback is noted and adopted by the Licensing and Enforcement Committee to be effective from the 1st of August 2025.
Chair, I don't have a question, but I kind of did have a question actually, and more of a comment as well. If I may, sorry to interrupt you there. So what this policy, the revised policy is also saying is it's also referring to age of vehicles as well. So just from my understanding, any vehicle that's, we did have a policy that a car to be less than 5 years old when it was registered with the council as a private hire or a Hackney vehicle. We're now changing that to 7 years instead of 5 years. And we did have a rule in place with regard to 10 years on existing vehicles. We're now extending that to 15 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, what it is at the moment, the current one is any vehicle on first registration when a new application comes in has to be 5 years old or less. The proposal is to go up to 7 years. And then existing vehicles that we've got now, when it hit the 10th anniversary, has to come off and be replaced with something that was less than 5 years old. But now it can go up to the 15th anniversary. So it's additional 5 years old. And then if members do approve those proposed conditions, therefore it'll have to be replaced with something that's less than 7 years old. Does that answer your question?
That answers my question. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to add that I have had some feedback from the trade on this as well, and they're primarily in support of this because the current situation with the cost of vehicles, maintenance of vehicles, cost of living crisis, and everything. So I think this is very welcome, the fact that the City Council licensing team is listening to the trade and taking their concerns and points on board. Shows that we are engaging with the trade, and we're not just running it like however we wish to run it in an authoritarian manner. It's a two-way street. Thank you.
This was brought about by working with the taxi trade through the taxi trade liaison meeting. So thank you for that, Councillor.
Thank you. So any further questions, or can I move to a vote? Okay, so as I've just described, the proposal is to accept the officer's recommendation, which I did just describe, and I'm not going to describe again if everyone's okay with that. So can I have a show of hands, please? Thank you, that's been passed. Right, that then moves me on to item 7, which is the Licensing Act 2003, the review of the cumulative impact assessment. Can I ask the licensing team leader to introduce the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of the report is to approve the draft version of the cumulative impact assessment and recommend that Council adopt the cumulative impact policy within the Statement of Licensing Policy. On the 11th of March, the Licensing and Enforcement Committee approved for the purpose of consultation a draft CIA. The consultation exercise commenced on the 25th of March and concluded on the 20th of March. During the consultation period, no responses were received by the Council. Therefore, the Licensing and Enforcement Committee is asked to resolve the recommendations in paragraph 2. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions, please? No? Okay, if that's the case then, can I ask the committee to approve the cumulative impact assessment and for the committee to recommend that council adopts the CIP within the statement of licensing policy 2021 to 2026? Could I please have a show of hands? Thank you. That has been passed. That then moves me on to item 8, which is the quarterly update. So, Darren, is there any comments you wish to make before I ask councillors questions?
No, there isn't, Chair, but I'm happy to answer any questions that members may have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No? Okay. I don't know whether it comes up on the quarterly report, but can we stop recording for the Pumali document, because that was circulated to all members, and I just want to check whether people are happy with what they've received and whether there's any questions from that. We good? And then any further questions regarding the quarterly update? No. Can I just put on record my thanks down to you and your team for all the work you are doing and for the report. Thank you. That then moves me on to item 9, which is the exempt minutes. So again, we need to go offline. Stream them. Yeah, all good. So item 10 is the date of the next meeting, which we should all be aware of. Can you just confirm that date, Ollie?
Tuesday, 9th of September.
We all got that in our diaries. Fantastic. I will now ask Democratic Service Officers to end the stream and thank everyone for their contributions tonight. The meeting is closed.